Good morning, Year 10. I am recording this video in school, so I apologise for any background noise. I'm sat in our room, Monday period 1, when I would normally be teaching you, and I'm sad that we're not going to spend any time together in this last week. It's been quite a year, hasn't it? But I want this week to be worthwhile, so I'm going to do some new content with you. First thing you need to make sure you've done is you've watched the video from Friday's lesson. So that's on class charts. And that starts off this new topic. It's a sort of mini topic, and it's to do with fractions that involve algebraic fractions. So if you haven't done Monday's video, pause at this point, go back to class charts, look at Friday's video. The second thing you need to do is to make sure that you've downloaded the attachment. That's attached to both Friday and today's video. It's the same attachment, okay? So we got down to question 3 on Friday, and we're going to carry on and do the rest of it today. Okay, so I'm assuming now that you've all got the attachment, either printed out or on a screen in front of you, and you've all done Friday's video. And if you have done Friday's video, you'll know that we were cancelling fractions like this. And hopefully you can realise that with this first one, every term in this fraction, 1, 2, 3 of them, can be divided by 3. So that's 3 divided by 3 is 1 x squared. I'm just going to leave it as x squared. 6 divided by 3 is 2. And 9 divided by 3 is 3. And as well as numbers, each of the terms can be divided by x. So x divided by x is 1, so I'm not going to bother writing it. X squared divided by x just becomes x, so it just becomes x on its own, and x cubed divided by x becomes x squared. So that looks like a bit of a mess, so I'm going to write what I've actually got. I've got an x there, I've got 2y, and then on the bottom I've got 3x squared. Now if you were asked to simplify this one, you can't. Looking at the numbers first, although I can divide these two by 4, I need to be able to divide every term in the expression by 4, and I can't. And in fact, there's no number I can divide them all by, apart from 1. And let's look at the letters. Well, this one, and this one I've got a y, but this one hasn't, so I can't divide by y. And this one, and this one I've got an x, but this one hasn't, so I can't divide by x. So that is already as simple as it can be. Okay, so let's move on to the next step today, and today we're going to do more simplifying, but we're going to throw in some factorising. So let's have a look at question 4 on the attachment. Now I'm hoping that you recognise this denominator as one of the double bracket expressions. And some of you may already be looking at that and thinking, right, yeah, I can factorise that. I know it's going to be x in one bracket, x in another bracket. It needs to be something that if I grid it out, it gives me x squared minus 5x plus 4. So the two numbers need to multiply to make 4, and they need to peanut to make minus 5. However, if you can't see that, then there's a helpful hint. Because the top can also be factorised, but this doesn't look like one of these quadratics. This is just a single bracket. So this is just one of those ones where you can say, right, both of these can be divided by 2. So I'm going to write it as 2 lots of x minus 4. And that's, right back to sort of, year 7 algebra, isn't it? Single bracket, double bracket. Now, the fact we've got an x minus 4 up here must mean that I'm going to be able to cancel. I'm being asked to simplify, so there must be some cancelling that can be done. So I'm pretty sure that one of these two brackets is going to be x minus 4. So let's have a look. If that's an x minus 4, what would this have to be? X minus 4. Well, to make the plus 4, that would have to be a minus 1, wouldn't it? Minus 4 times minus 1 is plus 4. Does that give me my minus 5x's when I peanut? Let's check. Minus 4x minus 1x. Bingo, yeah, it does. So I've got x minus 1. And so now I can cancel out the x minus 4s. Now you might be saying, well, hang on a minute. A minute ago you were saying that you can only cancel if you can divide everything. But look, here we had 4 things 2 in the numerator being added, 2 in the denominator being added. It's different when they are being multiplied. When they're being multiplied, it's one term and one term. So I can just say, okay, and my answer therefore is 2 over x minus 1. I don't actually need to put brackets around the x minus 1 when I write that final answer. However, it doesn't actually matter. It doesn't make it right or wrong. Now there are, in terms of C, D, E and F, there are ones that are on a similar vein, although you'll note that in C, D, E and F, it looks like double brackets, top and bottom, although this is a single bracket here. So have a look at C, D, E and F. We'll come back to B in a minute. But see if you can have a go at factorising either the top or the bottom. And when you've factorised 1, the chances are one of those two brackets will feature at the bottom. I note that I've got two special cases here. This one here, I'll give you a clue, is switching back to black. That's a bracket with just x outside it, so that one's going to look like that. And this one you may not recognise, so I'm going to tell you that one. This is a difference of two squares. So this one is 2t plus 9 and 2t minus 9. If you multiplied that out, you'd get this. You'd get plus 18t and minus 18t, which will cancel out as well. So I'm fairly sure that one of the brackets here is going to be either that or that. Right, have a go, and then I'm going to come back with the answers in just a moment. Hi there, the noises around me appear to be getting worse, but I don't want to shut the door because it's so hot here, so I hope you can hear me clearly. Now I'm aware some of you might not have paused and might have run straight into this, so promise me this, that if you haven't had a go at this yourself, you'll watch me go through C and then you'll pause and have a go at the other couple. Anyway, here we go. So I'm going to try and factorise one of these first, and I can't help noticing that this one is all positive, and I remember that that's always easier because both brackets will have a plus in. When you've got either a negative here or a negative here, it gets a bit more confusing. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to make 10 and which add to make 7, so that's nice and easy. Now remember, we're being asked to simplify this, so the chances are, well, I say the chances are, I can be absolutely certain that one of these two brackets will either be x plus 5 or x plus 2. Now if I look at this, it can't be x plus 2 because 15 isn't a multiple of 2. So I reckon it's got to be an x plus 5 there. Now what do I need to have in the other bracket to make x plus 5? Well, to make the minus 15, this would have to be a minus 3, wouldn't it? That would give me minus 15 there. Let's just check that that gives me two x's. So I'd get a plus 5x. Obviously I get an x squared, that's a given. I get plus 5x's minus 3x's. I peanut, 5x, take away 3x. Bingo, 2x. So yeah, this one was a bit harder to factorise, but I could use the clue that I knew it was either going to have that or that. So I can cancel out my x plus 5s, and that means that my answer is x plus 2 over x minus 3. So if you're one of those people who didn't pause, didn't have a go, pause now and have a go at D, and I'm going to go through it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, this is my take 2 for D because I realised I'd written the question out wrong, but there we go anyway. So both of these are tricky because we've got negatives in both of them. But I'm going to start up here because plus 12 suggests that it's going to be x plus and x plus in both brackets, but you've got a minus 7. And remember, the only other way that can happen is if they're both negative, because two negative numbers, when you multiply them, make a positive. So I want two negative numbers that multiply together to make 12, but when you take away one and take away the other, you get minus 7. Hopefully some of you have worked out that it's going to be that. If I grid that out, I'm not going to, but I'll grid that out, it will give me this. Now, let's look at this. Remember, we're being asked to simplify, so I'm certain that one of these two brackets is either going to be x minus 3 or x minus 4. Otherwise, there'll be no cancelling. So looking at this number here, which one of those two has it got to be? Hopefully you can see. It's the x minus 4. And I'm not actually going to grid this one out, but what would have to go here to make the minus 8? Hopefully you can see it's a plus 2. Try it if you don't believe me. So I can cancel out the x minus 4s, and that gives me x minus 3 over x plus 2. And again, I could put the brackets. I don't need to put the brackets because there's nothing else up there. All right? Now, C and D were pretty sort of standard. I know I'm certainly not going to use the word easy, but they were certainly standard. Ignore that because that's my incorrect version of D. E and F were just a little bit different. So with E, I told you that this is a single bracket. It's one of those special cases. But it makes the next bit easy because I know I'm either going to have an x or an x plus 4 underneath. And this is a double bracket, so I know it's not going to be x. So it's got to be an x plus 4. Otherwise, there'd be no simplifying I could do. What else do I need to have? That's got to be an x plus 3. Those cancel out. So I've got x over x plus 3. Again, could have the brackets, don't need the brackets. The last one was tricky. So I'm going to have 2 goes at it. Because I gave you the factorisation of the bottom. It was the difference of 2 squares. So I'm going to say, right, okay, I wonder if the top's going to have that. But then again, it might have that. I'm certain it's going to have one of those 2, because otherwise there'll be no simplifying. So let's have a go at this one, 2t plus 9. In order to get the minus 45, that would have to be a minus 5. And in order to get the 2t squared, that needs to be a single t. It's always more complicated, isn't it, when you've got more than one t squares. Right, I'm going to grid that out. 2t squared plus 9t minus 10t minus 45. Now, when I peanut, that gives me minus 1t. Right, so let's try this one. If it's minus 9, then that must be t plus 5. Let's grid that one out. 2t squared minus 9t plus 10t minus 45. Let's peanut that one. 10t, take away 9t, 1t. Brilliant. So it's got to be t plus 5. Those cancel out. So I'm left with t plus 5 over 2t plus 9. Tricky. Yeah, I'm not pretending it's easy, but yeah, tricky. That was the correct way, and well done if you got somewhere with that. Now let's have a look at the rest of the questions on the sheet. It's going to be bite-sized this week. I don't mean BBC bite-sized, I mean it's going to be short and sweet. So if we have a look at the rest of the questions on the sheet, I'm hoping that 8A and 8B are ones that you could have a go at because they're very much like the ones we just did. All right? And I'm hoping you're going to have a go at question 9. I'm hoping you're going to recognise this as a special case. This is a difference of 2 squares. So it's 2 brackets, but I'm going to say no more. 10 and 11, they are really tricky. Okay? But I know some of you will be keen to have a go. So here's what I'm hoping. You're all going to have a go at this one, you're all going to have a go at this one, you're all going to have a go at this one. I'm about to go through this one. And then some of you will have a go at this one. You've got another difference of 2 squares there, so that's still a double bracket. And the good news is, of course, that you've got the answers on the second page of the PDF. Try not to just copy. There's no point, is there? I mean, who's learning anything if you're just copying out the answers? But yeah, there's definitely some challenge there. So again, hopefully we'll all be able to have a go at that one, and that one. I'm about to go through this one, and then there's some really harder ones for you to look at. And that's it for today. Okay? Right, so let's have a go at this one to finish. X plus 5 squared, I'm going to write that out like this. That's what it means, x plus 5 times x plus 5. It's the same bracket. So I'm absolutely certain that this is going to have an x plus 5. And hopefully you spot that this is one of those difference of 2 squares ones where it's x plus 5, x minus 5. Do you remember what happens when you grid that out? We haven't done one today, so I'll do it now. So x plus 5, x minus 5, that's x squared, that's 5x, that's minus 5x, and that's minus 25. 5x take away 5x, they disappear. Poof. So we get x squared minus 25, which is what we started with. So I can cancel that, so I get x minus 5 over x plus 5. Okay, right, so good stuff. I am going to leave it there. You've got the answers. Have a go at those three. Don't forget, once you've got the brackets, you can cancel out. And yeah, I hope some of you will have a go at 10 and 11. It's more complicated factorising when you've got more than one x squared, but that's great stuff. Don't forget, this one is another one of those difference of two squares questions. So we're going to do 2 more videos this week, one tomorrow, Tuesday, and then one on Thursday. And then for those of you who are still hungry for more maths, we'll have a little puzzle activity for the Friday. I miss you all. Take care, stay safe, stay healthy. Cheerio.